You're listening to a 630 WPRO.com podcast brought to you by Atlantic Paper. Call 800-613-0950 or visit AtlanticPaper.com to find out how the Atlantic Advantage can make your life easier.
Rhode Island congressional candidate Brendan Doherty is criticizing the president's jobs plan. You know, Brendan Doherty has announced some time ago that he wants to be the Republican candidate for Congress in the 1st Congressional District. Formerly head of the Rhode Island State Police for a number of years and has a distinguished career in law enforcement. He shocked everybody when he said he was going to run for Congress, at least not shocked, but certainly surprised a lot of people. He's been a non-political guy all these years, and now he's a candidate, and he's announced as a candidate. And he's had several fundraisers and raised well over $300,000. He expects to run against David Cicilline, the present congressman, who... frankly, has got an uphill battle in these I guess rating agencies. You know, these operations in Washington they don't make that a sure seat anymore. They say it leans Democratic, but it's not a sure seat as it always has been, or for a long period of time. Brendan Doherty, welcome to the Buddy Cianci Show. How you doing?
Hey, Mayor, how you doing? Hey, Ron, how you guys doing?
Hey, pretty good, thanks.
Good.
How's the campaign going?
Campaign's going great. I'm really happy with what's happened. Everywhere I go, I'm well received. Traveling through the district, and I'll tell you, every night I'm somewhere.
Well,
I was before as superintendent of the state police, but now it's just a different forum and meeting different people.
Yeah,
it's going well, and the fundraising piece is going well. I have one tonight.
Really?
Had one last night. Actually had you might know Mike Dutra, the
Frank Sinatra.
Sinatra, yeah,
he's my man. He's the best.
He's a great singer. He did a good job last night at a fundraiser.
Mike Dutra is the best. He sang, by the way, at Governor Christie's inauguration.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He's been around. He's been around a while. He sounds more like Frank Sinatra than Frank Sinatra does.
Yeah, Mike's a good guy. He's got all the moves,
He's
too.
got all the moves.
He's got all the Sinatra moves.
He does. Now, tell me, so you can see him sometimes up at Venda Ravioli there in the square. He's good.
Yeah.
But I'm sure we didn't want you on to talk about the wonderful Mike Dutra.
Yeah.
Tell me, what'd you think of those elections in New York yesterday, or the election in New York yesterday?
Oh, I thought that was good.
Yeah.
I think people are starting to get it.
Yeah. For that district in Queens to go Republican is you have a better shot of getting hit by a submarine in Nollyville at 3:00 in the morning. I mean, but it did, and it substantially went. That some people who called earlier said that bodes well for you. I guess you got to feel the same way.
Yeah, well, yeah, I do. I feel good about it, and I think that what's happened is that the former congressman, they're embarrassed as constituents.
But it was more or less. It was I think maybe you disagree with me, but it's a 60% Jewish populated district, and they're just not satisfied with Obama's response to the Israeli cause.
No, I think, like I said, I think people are starting to get it, and I think what you just mentioned, I think the Jewish community there realizes that the current administration is not as supportive as they would like as it relates to this two-state solution.
Right. Now, Obama's plan. You criticized his jobs plan. What did you think about his plan, his presentation, and give us your lowdown on it?
You know, I just think it was a partisan plan. His plan is about trying to stop the bleeding, but we need a plan that's a game changer. We need a jobs plan that's on steroids. How about reducing the size of government and the bureaucratic jobs that have been created? My point with this is we need a bipartisan solution to create public value propositions that command legitimacy from both sides of the aisle. Both sides can embrace. And we shouldn't be raising taxes. The payroll tax exemption is great for putting money in the hands of Americans for discretionary income, but does it create jobs? These small businesses in the last 15 years created 64% of the new jobs in the United States. So we need to help our small businesses. So how do we do that? They're the ones that create jobs, our business community, not government. So we need to help our small businesses, unless we can help our businesses prosper.
Now, you said you wanted. I'm quoting you now. You said you called for the reform of the entire tax code to provide businesses with a consistent landscape in which to do business. What do you mean by that?
Well, the tax code's too big. It's too onerous. We need to find the loopholes and cut them out. We need to I think we need to drop the corporate tax rate from 35% down to about 22% to help our small businesses, help our business community, period. And perhaps
you want to end capital gains, your statement says, too.
Yeah,
right?
I think we should look at that. Even if it's just a holiday for capital gains, so we can repatriate, and so these companies can bring their assets back to the United States and bring their jobs back to the United States to repatriate for these multinational companies to put the money back in this country and start thinking about America first. For human capital, we can invest in human capital and equipment and supplies.
Now, your opponent, Cianci, he makes a big thing out of talking about made in America, and he's sponsoring a bill that gives business, supposedly will give help to businesses to provide manufacturing, to bring back manufacturing. What do you got to say about that? Isn't that what you want to do?
Well, yeah, in a different way. What's he doing to bring jobs back to Rhode Island? I really don't know what he's doing. I hear people talking about it a little bit, but they don't think that's a serious plan. I think we need to drop those tax rates, and we need to help, like I said, repatriate, and we need confidence, a confidence builder. All the economists that I've spoken to basically tell you that the business and consumer confidence is what's holding us back. So, we're in a global economy, and we need to help these companies, allow them to compete. It has to do with...
How would you create jobs? By reducing the taxes and taking the supposed loopholes? You think that... How about oil companies? You think they got huge benefits, millions and millions of dollars that they're getting by not paying taxes because of the loopholes? Would you go after them, too?
Yeah, I think if we cut those loopholes out, it'll ameliorate that. But, when in the Obama president's job plan, he talks about $405 billion for limiting itemized deductions for charitable contributions. We know in Rhode Island that is a major employer here, right? The nonprofits. So I'm not in agreement with that. So his plan. He puts a Band-Aid on it, but I think we need, like I said, we need a job plan on steroids. We need to look at the tax code and reform our tax code.
Now, tell me, do you your campaign? How much money have you raised so far?
I've raised about I think a little over around $400,000.
$400,000. Now, Cianci has raised how much? He's raised about $1 million, hasn't he, or somewhere around there? I think.
Oh, I don't think it's. I may be mistaken, but
not that much. I thought it was.
I thought he was somewhere around where I was.
Okay. Now, let me ask you this. I think he's more than that. But let me ask you this. There may be another candidate. I've got my ear to the ground around Providence, and I've been hearing the name Merrill Sherman, who is a Democrat.
I've been hearing that, too.
Yeah, and she's a Democratic bank president. I guess
I know Merrill.
You know Merrill Sherman. She is indicating to people, some hitters around town, that she wants to take Cianci on in the primary. She's from the east side of Providence, and in the Democratic Party primary, you know that there's a kind of a different demographic, a different voting base in the primary from the general election, and a lot of that vote comes from the east side of Providence, where I think she'll do very well, especially since Cianci is not enjoying a great reputation in Providence right now because of the budget situation that he left the city in. So what would you do? How would your tactics change if a Merrill Sherman would get into the race? She could probably write a check for $1 million herself. She's just got $20 million, more than that, for the sale of that bank. What would your tactics be? She's a businesswoman. She's from the east side of Providence. I believe she's a very accomplished lawyer. What would you do if all of a sudden you woke up primary night or the day after the primary and pick up the Providence Journal and it says Merrill Sherman beats Cianci and she's your opponent? How would you handle that?
Well, she was in the banking industry, and I wouldn't change my. I'm just focusing on my campaign.
Well, your campaign would have to be focused on running against her at this point.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, and I'm sure my consultants would have some change in our philosophy. But I believe I'm a proven leader. I believe the people of Rhode Island appreciated the work that I did as superintendent of the state police, and I'll just continue to focus on What I'm doing, I'm studying with a policy group on how to bring jobs back, and talking about the tax code and whatnot, and raising money right now. And I don't think
You also, Brendan, you say you want to get rid of the alternative minimum tax. Do you think that's an unfair tax?
Yeah, that was established years ago, and incomes have increased substantially. So that's hurting the middle class. It's reminds me of the old saying by Ronald Reagan that we need to represent the forgotten American, that simple soul who goes to work, bucks for a raise, takes out insurance, pays for his kids' school, and contributes to his church and charity, and knows that at the end of the day, there's no such thing as a free lunch. Why are we hurting the middle class guy, the working guy? So we need to support these people. It's the businesses that help these people who are out of work, and the ATM is just outdated.
Okay. By the way, you're going to be on Federal Hill for Columbus Day?
Oh, you bet I will.
All right. All right.
I'll be in Deep Pasquale Square.
There you go. We're going to be broadcasting there. Stop by.
Okay.
Okay, we'll be there from 3 to 6 on Columbus Day. But the parade is, I think, the Sunday, the day before.
Yeah.
All right, Brendan Doherty.
All right, fellas. Thank you.
Republican candidate. Thank you, Colonel, for Congress in the 1st District.